I think I know. Oh, we're all going to the Renaissance Fair and that Henry Castle and that's fun, that sort of thing. Not up to right. I wanted to get frozen, but I can't find any clone outfits, so I think I'm gonna be an old.
Age knows ways.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I think it's great.
It's gonna be either alchemist or witch. Very
fun.
Well, very cool. There was, she cut the belt without any of all the stuff hanging on. And I took it to,
She's urged
a
me
bottom camp door for it and she. It was like. She walked into a bank hall. That's why she.
This is Honey Castle.
Well, I think she'll use it for both.
And enjoy.
Most.
Enjoy.
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's fun watching it. But they're all of the age where when they came over, you know, everything here. They want something to drink, something to eat, they just. I mean, I don't cook, but. Sometimes.
Especially when you have more like that they come.
I don't know where. Nor. Or kids. Is the empty. Just like my kids. I think it's a spiral thing. They eat everything in it, but they don't throw it away. So when you pick it up,
Hello, everybody. Well, how is everybody tonight? Welcome to the regular meeting scheduled City-owned Cemetery Advisory Committee meeting. It meets at 5:30, the second Tuesday of every month. Good. I'm Sandy. I'm the chair of the committee. Can we go around the room and introduce ourselves?
Cindy Williams, remember?
All the stuff. Christine, member.
Good, thank you very much. Missing tonight is Carol. She's on vacation, Carol Kelly, and possibly Matt Murray, an alternate. All right, why don't we begin with the September minute? Thank you, Chris, for sending them out.
So did you want to make a correction on the, because you made a comment about the idea of
Something.
going Proctor, yeah, or any cemetery, did you?
Yeah, can we, so can we revisit that and is that on the,
Yeah, I just didn't know if you, when you wrote the note, I didn't know if you wanted to make a change to the minutes, or we're just gonna leave it as is and then talk about it as an item on the agenda.
maybe on the minutes, if you could just write, this is gonna be revisited for further clarification at the next meeting. That's it.
Okay, great, sounds great.
Yeah, that's all. Other than that, I think. Looked okay. Right, I thought the Harrison's stuff and you've changed that. Good, yeah, all right. I would like to make a motion to accept the minutes for September. Okay. All in favor? Okay. Awesome. We're gonna delay number 2, which is the recap on Second Parish Tour, Walk the Revolutionary Road. Carol sent me a note asking us to delay on that. She wants to talk about a few things on that, so that'll move to next month. Okay. All right, number 3, the Proctor Cemetery. My concern about having people sign a release from, like liability or accidents is that it kind of assumes responsibility for it, whereas we don't have responsibility. All that we should probably say about that is, how about if we send a note to DPW that the committee was approached? We don't have a problem, with them, cleaning up the cemetery. We could also send it to, the church also, saying that, we will send a cemetery person along also in case there's some questions they have or best practices that they should follow when clearing their stone. What does the committee think about that approach?
I like that. I like that. That it keeps that volunteer thing active, but there's somebody that can say. Or work on that a little different.
Chris?
If we had any involvement at all, then we're making a statement. That's the only problem.
Yeah.
It's if someone said they want to, can you say, go for it, good for you, go for it. Especially if it's private, if it's something private, because people will sue, if someone gets hurt, people will sue about everything and anything. And even though we've covered all our bases and trying to protect ourselves, if we're involved, just say, hey, I spoke to the cemetery and they said it was okay. And they wrote to DPW and even sent somebody down. So they're involved.
Yeah.
Yes.
When they approached you, Melissa, were they asking for advice and having somebody come along, or?
No, they just said that they would like to go over there and the branches out, clean it, not clean the stones, not touch the stones, but just cut it back, clean it up.
Make it presentable. Yeah.
Did you picture yourself going anyway, or just letting that go and let them go?
It could be either way.
Yeah.
It could be either way. I pictured myself as being, that's great, get along, it's here,
Yeah.
we have a lot of stuff going on. Personally, our family, so, yeah, I didn't see myself there as a member.
Okay, then, so, Cindy? Just,
If that's what we're doing, weren't we gonna try to see if we can get that one?
yes, but
So-
just to get those guys, in there to start cleaning it up, it felt like we could do this first while they were volunteering. Have you looked, have you seen it?
Yeah.
So,
No, but the question is that it's, who's involved, who's making a commitment, and if we want to keep the city out of it, then the committee has to stay out of it. And it's not that we're discouraging anybody, it's wonderful to encourage people, it's great, you can go for it.
okay, how do we account for it being in the minutes from last month?
Well, to be honest with you, what I wrote in the minutes is it was so much going back and forth, everybody. If you all listen to the recording, it's pretty much because I was going about, something about, signing something and you were saying things. And so it was just stated that people will sign something, but it wasn't meant that the city was going to sign something. It was just saying that, people, wanted to have avoid any liabilities, that a form should be signed, but there was no agreement. And I like your idea that from now on, whenever we have a discussion, you propose something, we vote on it, so we make it official. Because I just put together what everybody was saying, and then it seemed like the outcome, but I agree with all of us, think in the sense that we're trying to stay away from the city being involved with a private cemetery right now. It doesn't matter what's happening in the future, but right now, private cemetery wants to clean itself up. And you know, they have the right to do that. I mean, all was that being asked is who owns that cemetery?
Okay, and do they need, my question was, who owns it, and do they need this committee or the city's permission? So,
Well, we really don't know.
I know.
How do you want to word? How do you want to word this then? Because we don't want them signing anything,
No.
any form.
Mhm.
We're not gonna send anybody there or give any advice on it. So, how would you word that in tonight's minutes then?
Well, respect, so just Melissa asked about the unkept Proctor Cemetery, which is a private cemetery in Essex Ave. Sandy was told 2 years ago to Tarian Church, you know, to bust the cemetery to take care of it. In August 2025, Rona Tyndall of the Tritarian Church told Melissa, who gave her a map, and the church's boundaries told her that the cemetery did not belong to the church. Kathy Clark mentioned the city archives have no ownership. No ownership they can see. So then it suggested, this is what it says, it was suggested a project be established to list all the older cemeteries like Proctor and Washington Street. Sole director of Washington, blah, blah, blah. And then it says Kathy said there's another cemetery. And it said it was decided if the private or orphan cemetery was to be cleaned, the group managing the cleaning, which is not us, but the group managing the cleaning, has their volunteers sign a liability release form so that the city of Gloucester and then or the event group are not held responsible for any damage that may occur. So what we could just say that if a private or orphan cemetery was to be cleaned, uh, we will, I guess we'll say, making a correction that no liability form, needs to be signed, but you see, it's not about, if it's if there's a private group going to Proctor to clean, if they want to do a liability form, we have no right saying to them, no, you can't do a liability
Okay,
form.
or it was clear that liability form wasn't coming from us, right?
No, it wasn't coming from us. It was just, we were talking, if you go back to the recording, we talked in a very general sense that, hey, if a group is gonna do it, maybe they'll wanna have a liability form, since we all were talking about the liability form with respect to cats and things of that nature. Maybe they'll want this group, whoever they are, they want a liability form, you know, signed. But it was never said that CCAC is involved here, cemetery's not, you can be not involved here. But so, and all these, and maybe what triggered the situation was so that the city of Gloucester and or the event groups are not held responsible. Because I can imagine, I mean, you know, all of us have heard crazy cases where it doesn't even seem like they should be pulling other people into a litigious situation. And just because it happens in Gloucester, they decide, hey, this happened in Gloucester. And DPW knew, so they knew that we wouldn't do this. We've gotten hurt and it's their responsibility to pay for all the hurts.
Yeah. So I want somewhere for it to say that we don't have any responsibility. Like, do you know what I mean?
But it doesn't even say, it doesn't say that here, but we can say it stronger.
Yeah.
It says, make a statement.
We have, no ownership, the city does not own that cemetery, and, we don't hold, you know, any responsibility. So they may want, you know, want to think about it.
We shouldn't say, give any advice.
Yeah, I'll give it in.
Yeah. Would you say there's no responsibility, for Proctor or other private cemeteries in Gloucester, right?
Okay, good.
And so, because we really can't say with Washington Street, if something happens in Washington Street, we can't do anything about it.
No.
And people decide to go clean it, you know, that's wonderful, but we really can't step in there.
No. Yeah.
Okay?
It was just strictly, I was just worried about that.
No, it's good that you brought it up. And just say, a correction, just, say, you what I'll do is we'll put this statement in and just rewrite, so this is being rewritten. And it'll be written in the sense that we have no responsibilities, we're not involved in any cemetery committee has no responsibility for any, private cemeteries, in Gloucester. And we cannot be involved under any circumstances.
Okay.
Is that all right with
That
you?
sounds good. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, good. Y'all said,
Mhm.
that's. Full hill repairs. Yeah, is that on hold? Wow.
No, not finished. I'm gonna switch over then.
Oh, yeah.
So, I wasn't sure what, I think the reason why this was on the agenda was because, Samuel offered to come and, look at the Cove Hill repairs by Rob. As Bob, we all remember, two people had to look at all the repairs, so are looking at Magnolia, Sandy's gonna do Cove Hill, and then Claire, when she gets back, she can do, Bray. So, or you're doing Bray, sorry, and Carol's doing Cove Hill.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why it's there, but, to share, how do I share with you all?
Okay, so, you use a link. Hold on, I'm gonna send it to you. So it's the Zoom link. Okay. I'm gonna send this to you.
I mean,
Yeah. You're gonna need to be on the internet anyway. Okay. Use that link and mute. Use that link. Then I'm gonna go over here and admit you as a participant, elevate you as a participant.
progress.
It helps you. Are you in? You can get a lot of assets. Oh, there you are. It's interesting.
So, anyways, so the registrations,
You put the air button on your Zen's. You benefit.
just.
Yeah. So on yours, if you go to Zoom, you know, I done it. At the conference room, it's on.
And
Is that your son?
Where are the windows? Like,
Yeah. So here's this is.
Yeah, that's that one.
Mhm.
Okay, and then what that shares.
Thank you.
And then does it say share?
Mhm.
Oh.
Mhm.
It's and then whatever you want to share.
Okay, so we start off as the review of Cove Hill repairs. And so I just brought up the summary sheets for the repairs done at Bray, Cove Hill, First Parish, Langsford has not been completed yet, and Magnolia. And again, these are just summary sheets. There's nothing to do with the find a grave. And so looking at Cove Hill, just to get an idea of what we have, if we look at an interesting one right now would be to look at Elizabeth Sargent. And looking at Elizabeth Sargent, looking at the summary sheet, what you have is you have the sorry, we have just the Rob Sarabian, his work, the date of his estimate for this work, what type of material it was, a headstone, location, the grave location, and sorry, because I'm talking, grave location, the grave location, and then existing condition, and then recommended work. And then just comments if comments were to be made with respect to this stone, and then the price. And then I guess probably the most important thing besides, what work was done is looking at the pictures before and after. And so what we see is we see what it looked like. That is the stone on your left-hand side, and then you see the stone on your right-hand side. The reason why I put two images there is because the stone has gravings on both the front and the back. So it's Elizabeth J. and it also happens to be John James on one side, which are the children of whom? Of John L. Sargent and Lydia Sargent. That video was amazing. So this is what your summary sheets will look like. I need to ask see once again where I'm going to upload all these to, but they're all done now. And I think that's all that was, that was to be said, I guess, about this particular agenda item.
Okay, so there was only one stone fixed in that cemetery.
Oh, no, there's three. So,
On this one,
mhm.
does the committee think that we should wait till it's cleaned and readable before it goes, a picture goes up onto Find a Grave?
I'm gonna put the pictures up on Finder once they are clean. This is just for summary sheets. There's nothing else like summary sheets, just to get this work done in the sense of we know what it looked like before, what it looks like after the restoration was done. And then when it goes to Find a Grave, I agree with you. It should be in its best condition.
What does it look like when Find a Grave? Does it look like that?
It looks like actually Elizabeth. There's a lot of work that needs to be done in Cove Hill on Find a Grave. And so I was going to load up a picture on Elizabeth, but then I realized I really need to clean. Actually, I've cleaned it once. I need to clean it again. And so I did load up with John L. Sargent. I had some questions for you on that. So I did load up that picture because that picture is pretty good, I thought. So I loaded that picture up. So
But the one on the left, is there a picture at all up there?
on Find a Grave, yes, it's broken.
Is it that one?
No.
Sorry, very fast. It was the, I can't keep track of my Tuesdays.
Oh, wait, is it, am I doing put that one up too as well?
Was that one on the very left, the before was that?
No, it's not.
Is
That's
there anything?
a broken.
That was even worse than that?
No, what someone did is, they took a picture just of the top part of that particular gravestone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I agree with you that, in find the grave, yes, thank you. And,
We
so,
like to have the before, cause.
so is this,
That's the before.
that's it for, so y'all, because this is important for us to know what we're gonna do.
That's a terrible picture. You got an elbow and a shadow.
So, so I was just gonna leave that and show what we have, and once it's clean, but would you want a before picture
No,
like this one?
not necessarily. That's not good enough because it shows that it's broken.
Right.
And the date and picture would have the date on it also. And if you're unloading them, you can put both up. And when they're clean and shiny, you remove the other two and just put new ones. I've done that.
Okay.
We could do that if you want, but it's nice having the one on the right at least.
That was under John L.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah, I probably won't because I probably clean up, make it look good, before I would spend the time loading up so many times.
I know what you mean.
Mhm.
That, I know what you mean.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yes, everything else is just, so that's just the example, and so all the sheets are done, and,
Finally.
I have another thing.
yes.
You can put that one on the, you could put all three of them up when you want.
Okay.
If you wanted to.
Mhm.
I had
That
put a
one
lot
that's up there.
any GPS
Right,
into.
but for this with J, I wouldn't put her father's letter under
No.
it, right?
Um,
See, each of them need a fine degree of.
This is
of-
John, the pictures for John Jay.
Yes, exactly. So this is John J. So this, I left that here.
Okay.
And that's what's, this is John L, right?
That's John Jay.
Oh, John J is this one here with Elizabeth.
so
John L on that one, John Jay there.
John J is underneath Elizabeth.
So once these are repaired, it's good to put everybody that's on the stone gets the picture.
And again, so.
Okay, once these stones look good,
Mhm.
everybody, all the entries in Find a Grave, whoever's listed on the stone gets the new picture.
Yes.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah,
On Find the Grave.
yes,
Yeah.
and I think you have the names, which was nice, right on the top of the sheet there. So,
What's that?
John L. Oh, John L. It didn't come. So. Remember John L. John. Okay, so that's the one you put up. That's the one.
Yes, exactly. That's what I just put up. Because what John J is John James, and that's under Elizabeth. Elizabeth and her brother died in 3 years of each other on the figure on the left of this, of the after. And those are the two children with the mother and father, so.
those, the other entries, I don't know if you can tell Melissa, do they have that same picture? The other entries,
Can you go up a little bit further on the names?
Yeah, the thing is that there are no entries for these, so I had to go on new entries. Because
Really?
Yeah, that's why.
guess what, you become the owner.
Well, yeah, that's fine.
This is the other photo.
Right.
Okay, and that's for John J or John L.
John L.
All right, wow, this is very good.
So at the end of the meeting, I just again remind you where to put everything, where I have all the papers now done for the summary,
Okay,
and then we're gonna put them on.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
We're good. Do you have any questions? You all, okay, so at least you see the summaries and you know, not all the things you've done, but when you do your Find a Grave, I know you're washing your stones too, they'll be beautiful. Those are the beautiful pictures. Mine are so beautiful.
And so what's the status of Cove Hill now with this one?
All three, all the summary sheets are done, so, when you say status, what do you mean?
And the spreadsheet, so if you go to the Google Drive or, you can probably pull it up. So if you go to the Google Drive and go to, Gloucester Cemeteries.
You only I have what we will time, so I only have a link.
Okay.
But it's okay, happily want to show it to you later, back at the end of the meeting,
Yeah, okay,
okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody else.
Okay. Are you, with this, are you considering it, I'm considering it, if I'm having to go to the cemetery.
Sure,
Okay.
sure. You don't, well, and you can look at, see all three of the different summary sheets.
Yeah. All right, number. Number 5, you can leave your screen up to Bayview, status and volunteer efforts. Number 5, Bayview status and volunteer efforts.
Okay, so, let's go back up here. So we had a great, it's a picture of the, with respect to Bayview, this was a great picture of everybody came for the last cleaning of stones on Thursday. Sandy invited a crew of her sisters, the AR sisters. There were about 6 or 7 of them, and then we had 6 regulars that come to clean stones on a regular Thursday evening basis. And so it was a good day. We did a lot of slate, a couple of granites. And it was a nice, joyful group in the sense that everybody got into cleaning and scrubbing and making things look beautiful. So then Bert, the hound dog, he came to visit us as well, as you can see. So that was good. So with respect to update,
I would love that picture.
I'll send it to
Oh,
you.
thank
Actually,
you.
I'll send it to the group.
It's a really good
So Dottie's missing from this one, and Lois. I don't know where Lois is and Dottie, but
Okay.
I think he came later. So
Thank you much, Lisa.
So anyway, so the status of Bayview, Rob is now working in section A, which is the furthest section over to closer to Lanes Cove, and he's got half of that done. Pretty much A and B have been restored. There's still work to be done on cleaning, but it's coming along very well. So he'll do a little bit more work before November rolls around, and then it'll be closed for the season and pick up again in the springtime.
Yeah.
So it's looking good.
Really great effort.
Yes, yeah, it's
Very
very
good.
good. The cleaning and everything.
Oh.
So I think it looks good, you know.
Yeah,
So we're doing well.
yeah.
The only thing has to do is the restoration and the mapping, and then Rob will come back and actually cover a lot of the stones with a layer to protect the slates and also the marble. And that'll be the final process with respect to his restoration.
Okay.
Any questions?
Huh?
It's good.
Did anything happen at Summer Street? Summer Street.
I put this, that's one, when we come to get to Find a Grant, I'll speak about Summer Street, because, Summer Street, I put the flags out, John, and I put the flags out for the veterans, and, it is very difficult, it needs a lot of work, so I'd like to work on that,
Okay.
so, you know,
Okay.
some, but we didn't clean anything like that, but maybe we'll do more next year.
Okay.
Is that what you're thinking about, cleaning?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I guess we're good.
Okay.
If no one else has any questions, we're doing well, I think, on Bayview and the volunteers, pretty good.
Okay.
I was most appreciated, unshared.
Okay. Okay. Is there a little button that says stop sharing? See that red button way at the very top? Way.
Good, perfect, thanks, thank you.
You did say connected to, just in case, you know. Good. Okay, we're gonna postpone number 6, which is discuss the dam database until Carol returns. Oh, 7, review the CCAC master project list. And this came up because I think we got, Orphan Cemeteries was a new project from last month. So I am trying to keep up with it when people bring up new projects. So let's see. So when you're on the Google Drive, ignore me if you know it. I always go to Cemetery Advisory Committee, and then without even like looking down through the rest of this, I just put in master, right?
Mhm.
And then you can see all kinds of stuff here, but those are really old. That's 2021, blah, 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 even older. This is the CCAC Master Project Plan. And here's the different projects. Okay, so Bayview, is that big enough?
Mhm.
Okay, Bayview Restoration, Chris, multi-phase, and here's the restoration of phase 3, is in a spring, right? So,
It's happening now, it's in the spring, yes.
yeah. Okay. I'll change that too, once we hit 2026. Okay. Active Fisherman's Rest Bio, Nancy, Parnell, and Chris.
It's sluggish right now, but it will be out.
But,
It's to me, not to Nancy Parnell.
okay, this one here got lower, got to a lower priority on the Fisherman's Rest. So it's not in any state at all. Bray National Register, Freeman Stones. Let's see. Did you want to talk at all, Chris, about the new Freeman Stones or the new graves?
Sandy's referring to the fact that I've been trying to get funding for 2 Freeman stones, one for Charles Freeman, which was the son, and one for Harriet Freeman, who was married to Johnson, and they had a daughter named Harriet Freeman. And so they're buried with their grandfather and their uncle or their brother, depending on who you're thinking about. So I'm working on trying to get funding for 2 grandstones to be made and then set into the Freeman plot on Bray, in Bray Cemetery. And Wellspring might be finding some funding through grants, but I'm just working on grants right now with respect to African Americans, grants that are available for people of African American descent. So that's where that is right now. But that's going to be pretty much more of a winter project than right now.
Okay. Good. All right. 5 conditions. Some of these are ongoing, for example, condition and reporting master, which we'll put Cove Hill on that next. Treasurer reporting, which is tracking and reporting on where we are with money spent, and money remaining. 7 is all veteran stones missing or damaged in all cemeteries.
That's ongoing.
Okay, so that's active and ongoing. Have we tried at least one of them to go through the whole system?
Well, yeah, not yet, but
Okay.
we do, able to solve a problem with, Oak Grove, which has nothing to do with our cemeteries, but I'm working on a case for Oak Grove, and that's been settled, so then veterans, once we get permission from Oak Grove, from, Madison, then, Veteran Services will submit the papers, and the stone will be, made and paid for through Veteran Services.
And which one is that one?
It's a man named Robert Jeffrey, Corporal Robert Jeffrey from Civil War.
And that's in Oak Grove?
Right, it's in Oak Grove.
Okay. All right.
The problem with the the problem with the private cemeteries is that and I haven't heard back from the descendant, is that he then has to take, or she has to take on the responsibility of paying the company that will pick up the stone from the veteran services, and then also pay for the setting of the stone in the private cemetery. And so I haven't gotten any feedback from this gentleman.
How much does that cost?
No idea.
Okay.
Yeah. Hopefully not much. Hopefully not much.
Will we have to do the same thing for all the city-owned stones?
City owner, again, the Veteran Services pays for all the stones that we request, and then DPW puts them in for us.
Okay.
There's not a big difference between private and public, huh? Okay.
One was dropped off at Clark Cemetery several years ago, and we had to put it in.
No, it shouldn't be that.
Oh,
All stones are pretty.
okay.
Now, I don't know why that was, but I'm talking to Brian, all the stones are then secured. So there's appointments made with DPW, and the cemetery crew comes down and takes the stones and sets them. So that's really, that's helpful for us.
Yeah. All right. Alternate burials, green, seed columbarium, that whole thing with the greens, that it just doesn't have a lead, and it's a research project. And we just don't have any status on that. Now, the dam database, we'll find out next month if it's been resurrected. And these are all ongoing, all the cemeteries. Cove Cove Hill Chris, Bray Chris, Hunter Chris, Bayview Chris, Langsford Carol and Melissa, Cindy Magnolia, FPBG Sandy, Kathy is Clark's, Matt's Cherry Hill, Second Parish Carol, condition report prospect. I don't, that one needs, so, okay, GPS the Stones, Bruce Campbell, Find a Grave is done. I've moved on to the other one.
Second parish now.
Second Parish, yeah. Did I put that in here? Okay, cemetery tour brochures. Those are really the leads on all the databases also.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I got that from Danny and gave it a new QR code.
What is the goal with the cemetery? I guess we should talk about that maybe in the winter time, what our goal is with cemetery brochures.
Okay. Google Drive organization, ongoing website organization, that's on the agenda for tonight. Women's role in the 250th, Cindy and Melissa have tasks on that. So the women's role in the 250th anniversary, 1775, 2025, really into 2026. Because, 1776 and all that. Is there anything that you guys want to say about women's role in the 250th and schools or anything?
So that was, I believe, the beginning of the tour that ended up being just the second parish, which covered some of the women's roles. Then we talked about some, education, and Cindy and I have to get together on that part of it.
Okay, you know what then?
Well, Sharon Coyne had given us a dialogue. But it was more on the men. So, but I think we can take that and incorporate with the dialogue you did, dialogue Kathy did, and then read dialogue for the first house. Women, and I'd like to do a video that could be something that they can use every year.
Like a drama, a secret or a talk of some sort.
Well, like I mean,
Yeah.
wait,
Yeah.
they're pretty. They could even be different locations, we could even use it right now, but it's basically. We're talking eighth grade. So that the girls sitting in their history class. Get empowered that, yeah, the guys went to war, the guys won the war, and the big did, but the women kept their people, I don't think. I think the missing piece is. They study the revolutionary war. But they don't connect it to Glasgow. They connect it to, oh, here's the country we were, plenty of kids look at that. Huh. But they don't. It's more than that. You know, what the history and.
I agree with you. Well, I can think about the video, so you can kind of play the idea of video right now. There's dialogues that y'all have. What's the dialogue the first parish that you have? And I never was receiving.
Well, when we started this, she gave me. Second hour, to research, and there were only two women, right, two women in second hour. And so there, we haven't done anything with first class, which is gonna have a lot more. And then we decide. Which. And we did find more women in the end, using the archives, some of the Google Drive documents, so we found 9 people in second parish that. We were there during the, and we did talk about That, and there were several of them, but there's not an awful lot of information, there's not an awful lot of records on what they did. There's probate records and things they inherited, you know, kind of fill in that information a little bit.
Because what was it? So an astronomical number of the fighting age men in Gloucester died in the war. So what, 50% of all American casualties at Saratoga came from the Essex Regiment. Yeah, it's an enormous number. And we talk about, I mean, you know, the one thing that I've always worried about, and I'm worried about it more now, I've sort of crystallized in my head, is that the further we get away from history, the less it seems to, you know, whatever. And I don't know how that might be different if you live in Cambodia or Britain where you're surrounded by castles or temples or whatever else, where there's something where history seems more palatable. But I use the example of Dogtown, because it's the exact thing we're talking about. But since we've decided that Dogtown is just going to be, and I don't want to see it. I may have made jokes online and with some good responses about building a Wendy's up there. That's the joke. But we've allowed it to remain this tool, and you know, not every kid walks in the woods and wants to go and find out, look for foxglove and go foraging and find out which kind of pine tree this is. So older generations, you talk to older generations, they used and interacted with Dogtown, and also because they were older, lived a little closer to the real living people who lived there. And so it will be, just because time is linear, the challenge increases over time. And there's two places where we can the two ropes that we can pull in: genealogy, people whose families have lived here forever, which is always a little tricky because it might be at the exclusion of families who have not. My family got here in 1980. But my thing is that I was, 10 or 15, 20 years ago, I grew up, I live on the same property. I lived on my whole life. And my mother and I just literally made sure that it will be mine when she's gone, so long as nothing else happens. It's Tammy Younger's house. Like, her doorstep is the back step to my house. I stepped on her doorstep this morning when I was mincing about in the backyard. Exactly, she's the queen of the witches. And she was, she's thought of as the quintessential old crabby woman or whatever. And about 10 or 15 years ago, I was in the Boston Public Library, and in the corner of the big room upstairs, they have all of the history books from the towns. And because at some point in the 1850s, the state Commonwealth commissioned that they should all be bound. It's births, deaths, and marriages. And I looked up Thomas and Younger, 1753 to 1829, and it never occurred to me all the time. And then I went there, because I thought, single old woman, I looked in the marriages, she was married. And you know what day her marriage was probated? August 9th, 1775, the day after the Battle of Gloucester. And she was married to a guy named McCormick, who then vanishes because she was born a younger, she died a younger. She seems to have, at the time, but she was married. How many Thomas E. Youngers who were 23 years old? So at one point, she was somebody's bride. She was married, and I haven't figured out anything that happened to. I found her descendant as a woman who runs a website called Nutfield Genealogy, because she lives in the village of Nutfield in Connecticut, and I've sent her emails. Hey, I live in your ancestors' land. I have questions. And she's never responded to me. She's the 9th generation descendant of this family in the United States. I want to know what happened to Joseph McCormick. But what probably happened is he probably mustered up and went to war, and he's buried in a mass grave on some lovely rolling hill in New York State. And it was not like in the Civil War where they would pickle you and send you home. You had to be an officer to get thrown in a pickle barrel and sent home. And so there are these places where our folklore should also reinforce, oh, we want to feel, to connect to that. But it's always kind of hard. One thing that I always thought of doing with that first parish, and I never had the personal courage to do, was just go into the phone book and call the Saunders and the Parsons and the Stacey and say, hey, you've got some skin in the game over here. You want to come and help me clear? I should have, because it would have gone a lot faster. But genealogy is one way, but how do you engage other people, who have come more recently? Maybe you make it seem kind of cool. I don't know. But there's so many ways to engage. I mean, you're not going to get everybody. You get the 10% who will be us sitting here in 50 years when we're gone. So
They do a genealogy thing in school.
Now, read is that now?
They, yeah, it's 5th grade. And they ask the kids to do their genealogy. Russell, as we all know, is into that and gets quite in depth. And so the kids go to school with quite a lengthy list of their ancestors. So the schools are doing that. But I think from the cemetery point of view and the project that we're talking about, it doesn't connect to Monster.
yeah.
And it needs to.
And is that what you found on your walk too, the revolutionary walk, that people started to feel the connection because you brought, second parish still alive to them? I'm just curious what your, yes.
I was in the parking lot.
Oh, yeah,
Definitely,
yeah.
definitely. Also, Ann Parsons, when she did that talk about kids and pirates
Was this now?
at the DAR, and she did a description that I want to get from her of Gloucester during the war. That was so, it would fit in so good with how we got food and how Gloucester protected the harbor and all that stuff would definitely be a beginning, like an introduction.
Is this Judy's cousin? Did she say that?
Mary Lou didn't do that one.
I thought it was in Parsons.
Okay. Maybe we did one at the church, and so from Tears, in the Revolutionary War too.
Mary Lou did it too.
Yeah.
Did that?
Yeah. She would be, the person that gave it was way older than,
The page is sort of, white hair.
yeah. Yes, Mary Lou. Yeah, fine.
She's a great researcher too.
So anyway, that would be a great.
Which church did she do it at?
Yes, congregations, right? Is that congregations, the down community? The congregations were there.
Or wait, that would be the Lutheran church.
No, it was the white one.
Okay, then it's fine.
Yeah, Mary Lou Barnett. I'm pretty sure it was Mary Lou Barnett that gave that.
That description. That section of it would be great for introduction.
Yeah.
I would love to have her let me scan in a lot of her material. It's all written out in big loose leaf notebooks. But you could definitely, I encourage you to ask her and explain the project. Yeah.
The project will be based on the second parish, on first parish. Or you have not at that point yet? No.
No, it's more. Focused. That's right. Focused on how women survived and what they had to do. They had to take over farms, they had to take over their husband's businesses, and they had to take care of the children. And so it's focused more on the women. We don't know who.
And it would
We don't know
be,
who yet.
do you think your target would be this new school year and the curriculum coming in
Well,
next?
the Revolutionary War goes 3rd, 5th, 8th, and then it goes into high school. So that's why I talked to, Destino, who's eighth grade teacher. And, he thinks it'd be a good fit too.
Would you go in to each one of those classes, like for, what are their classes, 45 minutes? And give each of the classes or have it like in the auditorium to all the classes?
Really go that far.
Okay,
I mean, it would work either way, but I think. I would leave that up to Jeff,
It's just,
because the thing is, when you get all of the kids together. They don't focus as much as they're in the classroom.
right. Your video's a nice idea, though. Your video's a nice idea.
so you would show a video of you guys doing this? Or he would show the video and you wouldn't be there to answer questions?
I know, we haven't talked about that. We're just in the,
Jamming session.
we needed to get through Second Parish. And I would love if bringing some of those gravestones. Yeah. The replicas. And some of them are the men, but. Right, connecting those two. Right. Are, but I think with adding what Sharon Cohen did, because the thing is not to replicate the research that's already done, it's or pulling it all together and making it a story.
Mm-hmm. Give on data.
Okay. Good. Yeah, okay, I put it on. Put it on the schedule.
And also, it's good, you know, bring them to the, you know, if they don't wanna come to the cemeteries, set that up too, you know?
Okay.
It must be Carol talking to my watch.
Okay, that's great. Okay, it's added. Also, we get on, okay, yeah, we were going through the list. If a new, orphan cemeteries. As it turns out, orphan cemeteries was already on the master list. It just doesn't have an owner. So it's there. Identify them and approach the city. But I think we have to research them to find out. Are they really orphan?
And the important thing too, I think that we have to consider is that this one, we're trying to, we're going to submit a letter to the mayor, after the elections, maybe, you know, in December, to get funding for DPW, because it's wonderful to take on orphan cemeteries, but we can't even take care of the 13 cemeteries we have right now. So we can do the research, it's just,
You mean like High Street? The on Prospect Street?
Washington
Yeah.
Street, and Proctor, there's a store at Proctor, and things like those that the orphans, and then maybe you notice, Kathy Clark said there was another orphan cemetery up on the hill, maybe up in by the park, you know, west at Washington Street up high. Does that ring a bell?
On Washington Street?
Well, it's not Washington, it's about.
Across from Melport.
Oh, your Governor's Park?
Mhm.
Wow, I never heard of that.
Me either.
It'd be a nice place to be buried. Like, that's where they built the first Palisade when they first settled here and then dismantled it. Because it was a good place to watch out for Frenchmen and Spaniards coming over there and you know. But that's why the original settlement was along right where probably where the first parish is. Because when you see that picture from that hill that was taken in the 1860s or 70s with a fellow in a nice vest sitting there, you can see the farm, the Alms farm down the bottom. You can see how open and green it was. And if you're not picturing the picture now, I'm sure you'll think of it later. It's occasionally posted on Facebook. Louise Welch posts so much. Just how green and visible the river was, how defensible that position was. But I really wish you could have had a Google Earth. I wish there were so many places where there was a Google Earth card in different periods of time, because if you looked around, you'd be able to see it. Wow, no, I've never heard of one up there.
She wasn't sure, and we all had our heads going up that street, but we.
Yeah. Well, up Commonwealth or maybe up Beacon, which is parallel to it, because there's a couple of little streets off up there. And there might be something in somebody's backyard, because I always think of the grand dame of weird cemeteries, the city of Peabody. The city of Peabody has so many weird, tiny little cemeteries that you've never heard of. The Proctor Tomb, which is right on the on ramp off of Lowell Street. That one lady's tomb that's right where Centennial meets Summer over by the on the way down if you're going into Lynn or Salem, the back way. That weird, that's not terribly weird, but that cemetery up behind the D'Angelo's when you're coming the mall back way. But also that Civil War veteran who's out behind the dumpster behind the sub shop on Route 1. It's exactly as it is. But at the time, when that was all rolling fields, they thought, oh, this would be a lovely place to view down with the, view down into the valley with the Danvers, the hill that became later Danvers State Hospital would have probably been the earlier incarnation of it there. Would have been an absolutely gorgeous place to spend eternity. Just never heard the word dumpster before.
There's one behind Kathy.
Yes.
In Peabody?
Yeah, right across from the Peabody Mall, the Kathy's liquor store.
Yeah.
If you're looking at Kathy, then you go behind it, it's all fenced in. One of our principals and Melissa, you probably.
And the Endicott one off the highway or behind the old theater and the Jewish cemetery right on the highway.
That's very prominent. Yeah.
I was driving past it recently and I was like, I've got to go and look at old maps to see how did they get in here. I mean, it's hard enough to get in there with the highway, but like where was the access road? Because there's that new neighborhood they plunked down in the late 90s on the side, and then there's the river, and then like I don't know where the access road would have been before they put the highway in. Maybe it was just maybe they set it out after the highway. So it's behind the old Hollywood Hits. It's the Endicott family going back. Supposedly, Governor Endicott is in there too, but he would have had a woodstone or
And by the swimming pool used to be the big swimming pool. The guy used to swim pool back there. Because there was a lion swimming pool there.
There was the old meat packing plant that was so unstable they leveled it because they were afraid people would fall in on people's heads. And then there's an abandoned railroad bridge that goes on the old abandoned rail where the rail trails don't connect. There's the Danvers Rail Trail and the Salem Rail Trail. But somebody has to put up the money to fix the bridge because it goes through the marsh on the bridge. So
Trails and Sales gave a tour of the one that is near Hollywood Hits. It was a really good tour.
How did you get into it? I mean, you just
Just go by BJ's, come around
Yeah.
and then where BJ's entrance is.
Yeah.
Keep going all the way until you get to the old Hollywood Hits, which is now a dog park. And park right there and walk through a path in the woods.
You go left or you go right? You go
go north on the highway.
north.
North on the highway, but it's literally right there. I wouldn't even say the woods, I'd say tall grass. But I'd still check yourself for ticks.
That's
Yeah, it's right there because that was Endicott's estate. Because if you go to the other side of Endicott Street, which is one of my least favorite streets in Massachusetts, there's the Endicott pear, which is an English pear tree. It's the mother of all pear trees in the United States.
This is by the hospital. Right?
Exactly, by the Mass General. Yeah, they pushed when they built the parking lot larger 15 years ago, they pushed it so far back they weren't entirely. Somebody told me they weren't entirely sure if they were going to kill the plant of the tree because they weren't sure if it was going to change the patterns. And now when the tree is down 20 feet and just surrounded by garbage, this garbage that blows off there doesn't blow away, it blows into the tree. So 400-year-old pear tree. So
Okay, moving on to number 8. The CCAC city site has a lot of blank pages for the cemeteries. Discuss hiding the pages until they're populated, like Clark's, Second Parish, Bayview. Okay, what I mean by that, so I'll show you. Oh, by the way, this is the master list. If you could,
Strong condition.
yeah. So, okay. So out of all these Cove Hills right here, these are the ones that were identified on August 8th. I have three, two completed.
Because now,
Elizabeth Harriet Sargent,
right, and Clara,
Clara, where?
Clara Lane. And then Harriet. Elizabeth.
Yeah.
But it's not where I'm loading it though, right, the documents.
No, this is just the master list, okay, so this one's. complete. Mhm. Mhm.
And then those in the computer, you just.
That was Megan, so three of them are.
Oh, well, yeah, I do as well, yeah. So do you want to, you can do it, so we're going for the. Sanborn's completed in Magnolia.
Okay.
These aren't final grades, just the summary, so just the
Right,
finish,
right,
right?
yeah.
And so, unreadable happens to be, I'm pretty sure it's Sophia, but unreadable is complete. You see how,
Yeah.
and then Alice B is complete. And Claire, Butler's complete,
Okay,
and Mary E is complete, and Richardson, and Lucy's complete,
okay,
and Rhoda's complete.
not Lucy though, right?
No, Lucy's complete too, she's.
Oh, Lucy, okay. Drop it.
And then Rose complete, and then Olive and Silas are both complete. And Gray.
Okay.
And Clara Lane Sargent's complete in Coveville.
Okay, okay.
Up higher, right, it's underneath Harriet Elizabeth, under Harriet Elizabeth, right there, coming down.
Okay.
Coming down a little bit more. A little bit more.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Now you also have John L, if you, above Harriet Elizabeth, you have John L. And Lydia and John J, those are all complete because they're all the same stone.
Good. I figured that's why there wasn't any, price next to them, because they're all on the same. Okay, good.
And then you've got, and you haven't got Betsy and Ann all done. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, well done, except this one here,
That's still there.
Henry,
Was
yeah.
there today?
it's not on the ground.
Yeah, it's gonna be until law takes care of it.
Okay. Yeah. Just wanted to take care of that.
No limbs came down. I was checking the limbs today and one little branch came down and that got away, but no limbs came down in that.
I was glad the wind was not quite what they had told us it was going to be.
It's true, it's true.
Yeah. Okay, so on our CAC site. CAC. We have various pages for cemeteries like cemetery information.
Mhm.
Here's Bray. Let's see what we have. Oh, that's your picture.
Oh, that's gorgeous, yeah.
Chris took that. Okay, here's Brewery, gone but not forgotten. Okay, so on here we have, you know, gone but not forgotten book,
Mhm.
all kinds of links. That's Rob.
We did.
Actually, that was exactly 3 years ago yesterday because Facebook memories reminded me about it yesterday.
Yeah. Okay, so there's that. All right, so that's good. Cove Hill.
Oh,
Maps. Oh, got it. So this is where we put the brochures. You were asking about the brochures. I'm pretty sure this one still works with the QR code.
does it have a link to the Find a Grave, et cetera, or do they?
Oh, you know, I
Right.
think I might have done.
Because I see that the next item on the agenda is related to that, because we sort of have to keep, you know,
Do you see it here?
Yeah.
Okay.
because you have to kind of maintain both.
Right, that's what I started following, I was doing.
Right.
Well, we found some old photographs and we're trying to load those up. So what is this? Cove Hill. Yeah, Cove Hill, Lane's Cove. Walter renamed it Cove Hill, but it's really Lane's Cove.
That was throwing me off
I
for a
know.
couple of years. I didn't know where the hell Well, I figured it out pretty quick, but yeah.
Okay, and so that one's good. I might have hit some of the other ones.
Because Cove Hill you could argue, well, if you were less familiar than we are, Bayview looks like a hill on a cove.
I know. Well,
And frankly, so does First Parish in Rockport and
yeah,
got a lot of bays, we got a lot of coves, we got a lot of hills.
here's Langsford. More on Langsford history. I think I took some of the things that you and, more on history. Oh, no, that's Carol's history. Brief history. Right. This is yours, right? That's yours. So I took as many things as I could get from people, especially during the tours, and loaded them up. So more on the history. Here's the tour brochure. Okay. And this is the brochure that and the map. So these I'm pretty good at having data on them. Let me see. So, and those tend to be the ones, yeah, seaside. And I think I only have the monument stuff. So this, Hoppers, the story. Oh, yeah, this one ended up being good. I took most of this stuff I got from Sharon.
Mhm. And all of them have the fun of everything.
Yeah, let's look at that. No, this one does.
There's no started giving you any information, they give you papers and give you copies of anything, and then you always send it.
When I talked to Lisa, that man checked their veterans, so put the flag on him. I don't know how much they have actually. Yeah, we're gonna, that's for,
Yeah, and just as you build information on that and all of it, yeah, whoever will be kind enough to give you copies of things, it'd be great for you to keep in your files, you know?
Okay, so here's the second parish. These are just the headings I put on everybody, history maps, self-guided brochure, photo, restoration, social media links.
So you could add like all the wonderful dialogues, the skit, you know, dialogues that you all presented on the walk to this one? Or you would not,
Anything, we can put anything.
because you all have copies of that, don't you?
I don't have my copies. Yeah, just my copies. We'll leave, we'll leave that to the ownership of, okay, so this one I would probably hide, or at least maybe I could populate it before I talk.
Did Davis do something on Second Parish? Was there a booklet on Second Parish? Yeah, I've gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I must have. Yeah, I just.
I think that I shared our script. Carol asked for it, she might have all.
Good,
That should be a good resource.
okay. This is all the stuff I have. I have a lot of stuff for Second Parish. History notes, like that. I could probably pull something together on that after if Carol doesn't have anything. Okay, and then ask for those notes. Washington Street, what I did with Washington, because of the woman that came to the meeting, is I scanned in the Gone But Not Forgotten report. And
That's nice to hear.
here's the whole PDF. So it has the history, the graves, the plots, the names, and everything. But actually, it's kind of a big book. But anybody that, but that's all I have on Washington Street. We don't usually do. So it's this probably looks familiar to the Gone but Not Forgotten format. That's the whole listing. Okay. And all the other cemeteries, I don't have any. Yeah. I'm pretty confident we can now do something with Second Parish, not we do that tour.
Mhm.
Bayview, you might be having stuff with Bayview.
Oh, yeah, but it's just that right now I'm totally, yeah.
Okay,
Radio and Summer Sunday.
next year.
Yeah,
All right.
and Brave. Oh, you have Brave, you have Brave already, so you're anything on Sherry Hill? Did you have a good info?
I've done a little poking around, but I haven't done anything like consequential. We're doing a bunch of house stuff and
It's,
yeah, we're doing a bunch of, like I said, we're doing a whole bunch of estate planning stuff, which is wow. Having my will break. So,
Sherry Hill's not going anywhere, she's right there.
right, and I'd like to say that I think I'm not for a while, but I've got to update a bunch of things and making sure that everything's like for my mother too, so she's not going anywhere for a while either, I think, or I'm pretty sure, but you wanna do this now while everybody's
Good.
exactly, so that means lots
My
of
mom's next week.
Mhm.
I'm doing my mom's next week.
exciting stuff. Yeah,
Okay, thank you for that update. Oh, okay, so I got Lois. Kathy Clark also notified me that the 5 engraved links on aren't correct, so here's an example of First Parish, but they're all like this, I checked. So if you go over to the left on the main page. And you go to this link. This just doesn't do anything, so, where's that?
oh, that's, I never thought of this, it's so obvious, I know who's responsible for individual memorials, but who's responsible for a whole cemetery? Right, somebody must be, because it's why the grave is decentralized, right, it's user operated, right? Does it say if you scroll all the way down who's responsible?
The whole cemetery?
Yeah, maybe there's some admin that you can
Well,
contact.
if you look at this, it starts off by being a Gloucester, Mass page.
Yeah.
So,
What's it supposed to be, Cindy?
well, let's go to a cemetery that, all right, let's.
Actually, frankly, if there is a single admin, it should be, I don't know, chair of the cemetery commission or the DPW chief.
Well, like Sandy just finished all First Parish.
Yeah.
And so each of us are kind of taking different groups, but to just update. Yeah, Sandy's doing very well.
Yeah, we're just updating, but ultimately it should be.
I see here, maybe there's a. I'm gonna, somebody finally took over my grandmother's grave and I asked her for control and she said, oh, there are a couple of pictures on there that are clearly not of your grandfather. I was like, yes, I know. I've asked the previous person to take them down. She says, oh, I'm not allowed to take them down without permission of the person who put them up. I'm like, what, hold on a second. A, it's my grandfather, could you transport it? Or B, we both agree, even though I don't know who this person is, that's not my grandfather. Take the pictures down. What the hell is going on? It's in the Find a Grave rules that, you're not supposed to take erroneous pictures down. I'm like, or even if you don't have permission, I'm like,
You can't, you had that issue, didn't you, where you asked people to take pictures down?
Yeah, they do.
I asked the other person and apparently, and I brought it and I mentioned it to my mother, and apparently the original person who did like 90% of St. Mary's Cemetery in Westfield is doesn't get along with my aunt, so she said drop it. I'm like, okay. Deepening a family feud.
Well, when that happens and you get that kind of response, we were told to go right to the find a grave managers and they get back to me right away.
Yeah, I tried that and they didn't, or I had to go back and go, and now I have a new set with a new conversation with a new person.
So here's a Stowe Cemetery, for example. When you go to theirs, it goes to the Stowe, Massachusetts. We're sorry,
Okay.
Cemetery Committee, is that interesting?
Were you thinking of putting the Barton Cemetery Committee as the link for
No, I'm just showing you what Stowe has.
Okay.
So I just looked at one of my memorials, and if I look at St. Joseph Cemetery in Westfield, the cemetery itself is managed by Mount Benedict Cemetery, or it's managed by, who is it managed by? This is, oh wait, no, it doesn't say who's it managed by, because it should be.
It's really interesting that they don't see they just have managed fund.
Here's the directions.
My mobile one, the likes, but doesn't have a link at all.
Neither does it. And there's no. It's not like it has to,
Okay.
we could just have it removed, right? We could remove it.
Yeah, well, unless we want, to help people figure out who to contact. This number right here, Lois asked me to remove it because it goes to archive. They don't want to answer calls.
Yeah. So are we gonna proposal to remove that number or,
Yeah, remove the number. So remove the archives number, find a grave, and what do we want to do about a website?
we could put the CCAC, say come to our website because you've loaded up so much good information, someone
I
might.
would accept that, I have really 5 out of what, 26 cemeteries.
Got 5 good ones, right? Guys, she's got 5 good cemeteries, don't be shy.
Okay, but so only put that. Those links, take them all off for everything that isn't a
Somebody has
good
misled me.
link.
Well, it's just that even the ones that we don't have, like a baby, let's say a question comes from a baby, it comes to you or something, they go to you, and you say, well, Chris, take care of this, or maybe something has come in from Magnolia, you say, Cindy, you take care of this, you know? Or Lansford, say, Melissa will take care of it, but at least somebody who has someplace to go to hang their hat, right?
Yeah, so, all right, so they go to,
Would you all be, you wouldn't be bothered if someone had a question about Magnolia, right, or?
except that we, we're not, it's kind of hard to change the links in some respect. So you wanted to go to, so say they go to CCA.
I had Cherry Hill, Matt could answer Cherry Hill.
Well, okay, so it goes here, what do they do now? We don't have the.
But then, if I had a question, I'm looking to see, like everything else, it was good contacts, right, or about. And so I looked down this list and my first name is saying, Barry, boy, see, there's no way of contacting us anymore, is there?
No. So we're about putting the email address.
Oh, you mean, find a group?
No, in here.
Yeah, we
So
used
it
to
goes
have email addresses on, email addresses and our phone numbers. Was our phone numbers in there too? I think our phone numbers were on that too at one time.
Yeah. Yeah, anyways, so do we want the link to go here, but there to be an address to contact the cemetery? Email.
Well, we really don't have an address to have any contact to see, because it's not working out well, because now, in order to go in there, Carol has to verify it's her, and by the time you're going to be able to.
What? How are you able to send things?
I just created a new one.
Will you send one?
Yeah, I guess we could. Yeah, we could.
Yeah, want to think about it?
No, it's okay. I just have to change my password, because I really like my password. And I'm going to share my password. That's the only hesitation I have. So, yes, we could do, it's just Foster Cemeteries NA at gmail.com.
then we have to go through the hoops.
Because it's just like Yahoo, Yahoo now wants you to verify everything.
So you have to get verified every time.
No, because it knows about me. I don't, maybe you guys would try and see if they can cut it.
This is, what if they contacted, this is more work for you, that's not good.
And we don't want them contacting DPW because suppose they have too much on their hands already.
No, I was just thinking if somebody asked about Magnolia, it could automatically go.
You could leave, I mean, what would you like to do? Would you like to leave all our emails for specific cemeteries?
No, because I think with all this find a grave stuff that's in there, I don't think our personal emails should be there, plus, you know, our terms of 3 years, and we're not on it in a couple of years. Somebody's gotta, for one, you know, it should be like a central place to send an email that somebody checks.
Yeah, but that could be, so you know what, we probably should have nothing, because let's say in 3 years I'm not here, and then all of a sudden, or any of us are here. I did try to get, I did go to IT at Gloucester, the city of Gloucester, to ask for, when I was running into problems with the email address we have through Carol, I asked if we could have a real one, you know, city one, and they told us because we were a committee, and because they didn't want to, have to check in on us that they no longer giving emails to even committees. And so we can't get it email. We wouldn't have to verify all the time. You could get into this. This is get into it. I'm gonna do
This is what we're gonna do.
Okay.
We're gonna take off the phone number.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna put the landing page for the cemetery. Okay.
Yeah.
And we'll try to populate.
Do it, run your proposal for that.
Yeah. I'm gonna repeat it and see. Okay, the proposal that I would like to put forth is to take the archives phone number off of the Find a Grave and to change the website from the black hole to the top level CCAC site.
Yeah,
What is that?
Yeah.
Anybody?
yeah, a copy in snow, that looked pretty good, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I second it.
Okay.
And then they can bother us or the DPW and not the archives people.
And if we all move on,
Right.
somebody's gonna be able to hopefully.
Because the archives people are essentially part-time or volunteer adjunct clerk, right?
If people calling them and they just can't, they don't.
Yeah.
Everybody's busy.
Mhm.
Okay, that's that.
It's Judy Peterson like 2 days a week.
Yeah.
And sometimes, or Doug Parsons, and sometimes they actually put them to actual work in the clerk's office. Especially around election time, I'm like, I walk in and they're doing actual work.
Okay, well, we get 7 o'clock. I lost track of time.
I just ask for new business, new business.
Anybody, Cindy? Melissa? Matt?
No.
New business, okay, great.
Mm.
All right, I make a motion to close the meeting.
Wonderful.
All right, thank you to everybody.
Thank you. Do you have a family just?
Oh, I can still, oh, no, I can't, yes. Okay, here, so here's fine.
I'm assuming this should help us. If you want to, huh? I think we're so. No, share your things. Did someone talk about flags for relation?
Yes, the guy, what's his name?